Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I would consider to be the very easiest way to create a monthly budget. Now, as we all know, creating a monthly budget is only like 5% of actually budgeting. The rest of it kind of takes place as the month progresses, and that all kind of depends on if you are increasing income or how hard you're working to decrease expenses or to stay under budget or to curb spending habits, those types of things. I find that creating a monthly budget is quite simple. A lot of people find that that is a little bit difficult, but I think once you get the hang of it, it'll be a breeze. So I have actually been using this same method for nearly 2 years since we started our financial freedom journey. I just knew that, just kind of going through the motions of setting up our budget was going to be a breeze, and I just knew that the work would come as we progressed through the month. But actually setting up the budget is easy, and I think that this is the first step in starting your financial freedom journey or learning to budget, like actually learning how to put together a budget. Because I don't really know how one could actually stick with the budget if they don't know how to even put together a budget that really works for them. So I'm just going to be showing merely a method for creating a monthly budget. There are obviously a whole bunch more, some that I have shared in the past, some that I will be sharing in April as I embark on a new series that's going to be coming to my channel. It's going to be like a financial series to celebrate April, which is National Financial Literacy Month. So that's going to be taking place in April. But as of right now, I just thought that it was really important to kind of show you guys what happens, how we create our monthly budget, just the simple act of creating a monthly budget. So I am in the EveryDollar app. I am using the free version. As you can see, I could try Plus, but that's like $10 a month, and I'm really not with that. If I were to try Plus and pay the $10, I would then link my bank accounts, so therefore I could just kind of drag and drop transactions. So the transactions would essentially like auto-populate, but I entered them all manually. But that's kind of another part of this. Let's go ahead and start with like creating the actual budget. So I already have income here, but I'm going to erase it because I want to show you guys the different things that you could do as far as adding your income. So you could put like full-time job for one category, and then you could put side hustle if you wanted to, or you could put the name of yourself and then the name of your spouse. I don't know that it really matters a whole lot how you categorize the income, just so long as you're including all of the income and accommodating for all of that. So I'm actually going to delete this. And for purposes of this, I'm just going to put Shay. We'll just leave it as Shay. Now for my plan, I am going to put $7,400. That is actually how much I anticipate bringing in for April after payroll deductions and taxes and donations and health insurance and all of that. And the reason why I'm just going to put mine here is because I want this to mimic the budget that I've already done and the budget that I've already shown you guys. And so as you guys know, we actually save all of my husband's income and use my income to live off of and pay down debt. So moving down to the next category, which is housing, you can actually change the categories or the names of the different categories to whatever you want. It's technically a group, or you could delete the group. You can do whatever you want. I like to go ahead and do housing first because I find that that's always going to be the first thing in a budget. Currently we rent, but when we get a mortgage and we have to deal with property taxes and HOA fees and all of that, I will be putting all of those in here. But currently we just have rent and water and rent are paid at the same time because they're technically bundled together. So sometimes I like to put when the bills are due. So I am going to put that the bill is due the 5th because that's when it's due. And then I'm going to put the planned amount, which is $620. Next, I have utilities. I find those to be just under housing because I find that those are extremely important. And so that is why I have utilities here. And I have cable and internet, which is due on the 3rd, and it is going to be $131.48. And if you're wondering, I'm going off of memory because I kind of memorize all of this stuff. Electricity is due every 29 days, so it typically is somewhere around the 15th, either from like the 15th through the 18th of the month. So I just keep this at 15th. And we don't know that amount exactly as of yet, but I always budget 100, especially during these months, because that typically does the trick. Phone bill, same kind of thing. I think it's due every 28 days or every 30 days. So it's really somewhere between the 25th and like the 28th. And I will tell you that today is the 25th and it came out today. So of course that's for August, but it'll probably be I just kind of keep it on the 25th because that's typically around the time that it hits, and that is going to be $86.50. So as you can see, we are working. We are adding in all of our figures, and this is updating all the while because it's allowing us to budget down to the cent, or down to zero technically, because we're doing an every dollar budget. And this is actually telling us how much of telling us our percentages. So housing is, all of these numbers are technically off because this isn't accommodating for my husband's income. But as you can see, it is telling us all of our different percentages. So moving down to lifestyle, I'm going to budget 100. We are budgeting 100 for me for the month of April and 100 for my husband. And I will tell you before I go any further, once you put one budget in here, you don't actually have to put any more inside of this budget, because here's the thing. You can just go up here, and then whenever I'm ready to set up May, which I've already set up May, I would just click May. If I hadn't already set up May, it would be dotted like June, and then you just click on it, and then EveryDollar will prompt you to create your budget for the whatever month it is that you're trying to create the budget for, and it will tell you that they will pull the information from the previous month. So technically I could just reset the budget down here at the bottom, and it would reset the budget from March if I wanted to do this, but I don't want to do it because I want to walk you guys through this. So next we have beauty. So we do 100 per month, and I'm not actually going into detail about all of these different categories because I've already done that in my April budget with me video. Donations / gifts is going to be, I think, 50. Again, I'm going off of memory. Actually, I'm going to leave, what is donation / gifts? I think it's 50 for the month of April. Yes. Toiletries, that's probably 50 as well. And miscellaneous is always 100. And travel, because we have a lot going on in April, it's at 500. And personal trainer is always at 240. So the next category is health. So sometimes when we have like a medical appointment that's going to require a copay, we will put medical here. We would just go here, add medical, doctor, dentist, whatever the case is. Gym is going to be $39.98. That's for 2 gym memberships. There is no medical, but you can leave the category there blank if you want, so it'll always pull to the next month, so you're kind of reminded or triggered to write in that specific amount. Transportation, this is always $140. Car insurance is not due again until June the 5th because we pay it every 6 months. Life insurances are due on the 27th at $42.19 for the both of them. And renter insurance is due again in May, end of May. Food, we budget about $600 every month, depending on the holidays or what we have, going on. If it's some type of big month for like anniversaries or whatever, we kind of budget accordingly, but pretty much we do $600 every month. And again, it is telling us how much we have left. So I just put in my student loan payment, and now we have my husband's student loan payment, which this amount isn't accurate because we don't update the amounts in EveryDollar, because I don't even really know how. The balance is really something like $19,000, but I don't know when the last time is that we updated this, but obviously this is inaccurate. But I just want to show you that you can put in the balance of your debts and it will keep like a running total for you. It does not accommodate for interest, so each month you'll have to go in and technically update it, but I don't even bother because it's too much work. And so our snowball payment each month is $3,500 minus $304.69 because we are attempting to put $3,500 towards his student loan payment each month, and that is $3,195 53331. And then emergency fund, we don't include that here because we save all of my husband's income, which helps to build our emergency fund. And so what we have left is 54310, and that's inaccurate because I know up here that toiletries, we're actually budgeting 60 for toiletries, I do believe. So 53310 is more like it. And so it does tell you how much is in your emergency fund though, I believe. Yes, that's not an accurate amount either, but if you keep up with it and track all of what's coming into the emergency fund and what's going out, then it will update it. And you can put little notes, so like, you know, just to give yourself like a little reminder, if you want to do 8,000 a year, or if you want to do 2,000 one month, whatever the case is, you can write in whatever little note you want to write in. And so for this, which is rollover, this would be 53310, and it would technically go in the savings category, because what we like to do is budget based off the numbers that we typically always budget for, or based off of, and then whatever is left, we consider it to be savings, and we roll it over to the next month to help us to pay for expenses and bills and stuff up until we get paid again in the new month. A little bit confusing. I've explained it many times before on my channel, but that's pretty much what we do. Also, you can do sinking funds. If we did have sinking funds, we could, you know, put one here like car repair, and then put $10 here. Of course, once I press enter, it's going to say that we are over budget, and we are. We're over by $10, so therefore we would have to take it from here or some other area in the budget. But as you can see, it does allow you to budget down to 0, and it also lets you know how much money you have left as you're doing your budget, and it also lets you know when you're over budget, so you can go back through and adjust accordingly. Let's say we really wanted to put $10 in car repair, we would just have to make a decision about where we could find $10. I would probably say, given the fact that we're a family of 2, we could probably find the money or take the money from here and then just budget $590 for that. So that is pretty much how to set up an EveryDollar budget using the EveryDollar app. I believe that no budget is a budget unless it's an EveryDollar budget. So this app is really, really ideal. Again, there are other apps that I really, really love, like Fudget, and I believe I do have a tutorial on Fudget on my channel, but I really do love apps that allow me to easily create a budget and just do the math for me, because who really wants to do this math? But this is how to set up an EveryDollar budget using the EveryDollar app. I absolutely love it. Here are all of the categories and the percentages. And yes, the vast majority of our income goes towards debt. It lets you know how much you spent and how much is remaining. And if you ever want to track an expense really quickly, again, I'm just showing you guys how to set up a budget, but I do want to show you really quickly. If you want to track an expense, you would just go in, you just tap on it, and then 8650, and if you tap on the right category, then it'll go right into the right category. So let's say the cell phone bill came out, which coincidentally ours did today. Just press track expense, and now it shows us how much is spent, which is 8650. And then you can go here and it'll show you how much you have remaining, which is 0 because we already paid our bill. But you can do the same thing for other things like allowance. Let's say I spent $10, and let's say I did that at Bath and Body Works. And you can also add a split. And there are more options if you want to write a note or check number or something like that. I don't do too much of that. That's just too much. So you can just press add transaction, and well, did I do it right? Oh no, it's not categorized. We have to categorize it, or we can drag and drop it. And spent $10, and we have 90 remaining. So this is how to set up an EveryDollar budget using the EveryDollar app. Again, make sure you are subscribed and have your notification bell clicked and your notifications turned on, because every Monday throughout the month of April, I'm going to be sharing financial tips, just things that I have learned that I want to compile in an organized way, because I love organization. That is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.